Today we have Juniper. This came to us from my mother. Now, my mom's been gone for 25 years, but this was a tree that was growing on the property when I was born. I was born in the house where this was growing and I grew up with it. And when my mom died, we needed to clean up the yard, and my brothers and sisters, I guess, probably me, I don't know, said, well, we got to get that tree out of there. It's just overgrown and it's too big and it doesn't look good there anymore, and it's got to go. So I grabbed a piece of it. This is most of what I grabbed, but not all. And I guess I'm feeling kind of melancholy today, so we're going to turn a vase out of a portion of this juniper from my mom's house. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop. Howdy, let's take a closer look at it. The piece is about 15 inches long. It's kind of an oval, about 3.5 by 4 in diameter. Now you can see some bug activity in there. Several years ago, probably right after I got this, I cut a couple of sections off of here. I can't remember how long, maybe 4 inches. And I made my brother and my sister a lidded box out of this. And I don't remember dealing with any bug holes. So I'm hoping that those bugs that got in there didn't come from some other piece of wood in the shop here. But I'm afraid that probably is the case. Anyway, what I'm going to do is cut off probably 8 or 9 inches of this and make a vase. So I'm going to take it over to the bandsaw, cut that off, mark center on each end, and mount it up between centers and turn a vase. Should be easy, right? Well, if you're anybody that likes to do spindle turning, it probably is very easy. I'll see you over here at the bandsaw. Now this all came about because of a comment on a recent video. A gentleman said, gotta get my hands on some juniper. And I thought to myself, and I guess I said it, yeah, juniper, good idea. And then of course I forgot about it. Then I came out here today to look for something to turn, and this piece has been setting near me for 20 some years. I looked over and there it was, a piece of juniper. So it's like destiny. There it is. Tenon on this end. And I did come up with an idea for a shape, nothing special. I'm not an artist, I'm not design savvy, so it's nothing too terribly interesting. Besides, the piece of wood doesn't have a lot of interest to it. My thinking is, the reason this is the bottom is because I'm going to turn a big round part here and then taper it down and then maybe back up or out. And I thought I wanted to keep this big knot. It'll be round, I'll cut through it, but it might be prettier wood than something here in the middle, I don't know. It's a pretty plain wood, very whitish, so we're not going to see a lot of wonderfulness in the grain, but maybe we'll have that, and maybe in some of these low spots like here, we'll still have some bark left. That's my hope. And besides, it's an oval, so the bark will go away here on these two sides, and then these two sides are lower, so there should be a little bit of bark left. If I don't blow it, who knows? Then we'll grab this big Herkin spindle gouge, and we'll be turning at 750 RPM, mask and face shield on. Oh well, that looks pretty good. That's where that big knot was. I don't want to get too heavy-handed here and remove more than I have to. And see this low spot I was talking about? There should be some bark left there and maybe here, if I don't overdo it. Yeah, that's pretty. Well, maybe we'll stop there and just work on the tenon. I don't mean stop like we're done, but stop like we'll work on the tenon. That's what I mean. I need about a 3¼ inch tenon for my big jaws, and I'm going to use a 5/8 inch bowl gouge for that. Okay, that's close enough. I'm just going to use this parting tool to square up this end here. I'm going to use this 1-inch skew to put a dovetail on this side. Okay, we're ready to turn it around. And I got to switch out to my larger chuck jaws for that. Well, I put a mark on here. This is where I want my larger part of the vase, and then I want it to taper down and then back up a little bit, although it won't be that big. It'll be a long taper here, and this will be much smaller, but then come back up anyway. Hope that makes sense. 5/8 inch bowl gouge, 700 RPM, mask and face shield on. Yeah, see, I'd love to be able to save those, but I doubt it. That's my big knot that I wanted to save. I don't know what that's all about. Sure, a lot of bug tracks in there though. Wow. Well, this isn't big enough for the length of that. That's my first impression anyway. Looking at it sideways here, I don't know if I should shorten this up. I kind of feel like I should, but I am going to go sharpen up. Well, I am going to shorten it just a little bit more and then thin this down, which should make that look bigger, I guess. Now it looks like a chimney on a locomotive. This is not done. That's the part that makes it look like is it called a chimney? What's that called on a locomotive? Smokestack. An old locomotive. Well, I kind of feel like I'm getting there. So that'll all be gone. Yeah, it's not very shapely, but I think I've got the proportions better. I'm going to get my scraper and just kind of clean this area up. What do you think? It'll be cut off about here. That'll be the bottom right there. That look like anything? Boy, bug holes. It's going to look entirely different once I get those all cleaned out, isn't it? I got a little bump right there. Well, I guess that's what I had in mind. Got a little knot up here. A little bit of bark. I'm not sure where that big knot was. Oh, right there. But that's going to look awful with all those bug tracks gone. Or showing better than they are. Yeah, okay. I guess it's time for sanding. I guess I'll dig all these out first. That'll be fun. You can see this is going to be kind of tedious, so I'm not going to bore you with all of it. It's going to take quite a little bit of while to get all this. And I need to clean up my area because I'll be using a lot of compressed air and I don't want to blow all the wood chips everywhere. Yeah, this is going to look, it's either going to look pretty cool or really ugly. Okay, I'll see you much later. Well, I've got these bug holes cleaned out pretty well. I know they don't look great yet, but they will after they're sanded. And I think they're going to really add some interest to this piece. I could make them bigger or something, like with a Dremel tool. We'll see how it looks after they get sanded. And I'm going to use my Sandoflex to round over these edges, that sort of thing. I think it'll look pretty cool. But while I was doing that, I was looking at this, and this just needs a little more shape to it. It's just a little too straight. It's not straight if you look straight on like I am. It is thinner here than it is here, for instance. But I want it a little bit thinner than that. A little more obvious shape to it. So I'm going to do that with a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. 750 RPM, mask and face shield on. Yep, that's really all it needed. Way more obvious now. Okay, time for sanding. Well, now I decided to bevel this edge a little bit. Yeah, that looks a little more finished. Really now, time for sanding. I was gonna sand with sanding strips like this, but I don't want to, I guess. I'm gonna sand with my 2-inch disc. I'm gonna start at 120 grit, working up through 400. And I'm gonna bring out my Sandoflex right here when I get up to 180 and sand all the bug holes and whatnot, if they need to be sanded. By then, this may have cleaned them up enough that they don't need to be sanded like that, but probably won't be the case. I'll probably use the Sandoflex. Anyway, I'm going to have the lathe spinning in reverse at 250 RPM because I'm scared if I go too fast, I'm going to remove the bark. So I'm just going to take it real easy down here, but I got to sand it, and we're probably going to lose some of it, but I'm going to do my best not to. And I'll show you what all that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. And if I need to do the Sandoflex, I'll bring you back for that. Otherwise, I'll bring you back when it's time to drill it out. See you in a bit. Well, I'm so pleased that we still have bark left, and we're through the rough, heavy grits, so I think we'll still have some, and we'll still lose some, but not much. And you can see these bug holes and bug tracks look much better, but we're going to try for even better. So I'm going to do 180 grit, and then I'm probably going to do 240 as well. Same thing on the Sandoflex. Oh yeah, see, that smooths that out. Smooths out those sharp edges from sanding. Much better. I might not even have to do 240, but I might. Okay, well, we're almost there. I gotta do 240, 320, 400, and I'll bring you back for drilling. Okay, I'm gonna drill a 1-inch hole. It's 1.25 inches down here. I'm not sure what speed to turn at, so I've got it going 150. I'll either pick it up or slow it down. Probably faster than that. There's 300 RPM. Boy, does that smell. And not in a bad way. Okay, well that's pretty boring for you, so I'll bring you back here in a few minutes. Wow, does that smell? Well, it have a nice aroma. What's the best choice of words? Smells good. Ooh, smells like some sweet perfume. I just want to open this up a little bit, make it look a little bit better than it does maybe. Yeah, I think that'll do it. I'll just sand that up real quick and we'll get some finish on there. We're going with shellac on this one. So this is shellac-based sanding sealer I'm applying. I just don't know what this is going to look like with those bug holes, but I'm thinking it's going to be cool. Took a long time to get all that stuff out of there. And I'll brush it here in a minute to get inside all those holes. I'm real interested to what you think. Probably not the most beautiful vase in the world, I wouldn't know, but it's not likely. And I put just a little bit of sealer in this can, and I've got my brush. It really kind of needs something, you know, to make it stand out, because the wood doesn't have any color and there's not a whole lot of fancy grain. So I'm hoping this will rescue it. And the little tiny bit of bark that's on there, that'll help. So I will put on 2 coats of this and 2 coats of shellac, and then I'll bring you back and we will part it off and see what we got. I'm just as curious as you might be. And I always like to come behind the brush with fresh sealer on the rag to wipe up any brush strokes or runs or whatever. The weather is warming up and this is drying much faster than I'm used to. Boy, my voice is going again, sorry. Okay, that's pretty much what it's going to look like. It'll be a little bit shinier than that, but you get the idea. I'll see you back here tomorrow because it's late in the day already. See ya. Well, I hope this goes well. The camera just told me when I turned it on just now, it said, check the memory card. What does that mean? So I took it out and I checked it and looks like a memory card. I don't know what they want me to do about it. Little red light's on. It's recording. Nothing else I can do. So I've got a nice finish on here. I'm gonna open this up a little bit more, this space I have here for parting it off. I'm just gonna cut some of this away so that I can get my parting tool over in this direction. This is to exaggerate it. I'm gonna go in that way, not that much, just a little bit, so that I have a flat lip right now, flat place for it to set on. So now from here on, I want to go up that direction in the center so that it'll set flat on this outside edge. And as soon as I get my mask and face shield on, we'll do that. And we're going to be doing it at 800 RPM. Parting tool, mask and face shield on. I'm going to slow it down here a little bit, keep it under control, about 600 RPM. And just because I don't feel quite too sure of myself today, I'm going to put a towel down under here to catch it in case I don't, so it doesn't get all banged up. And I'm turning it down to about 500 RPM. Okay, now I'll go sand that up, sign it, get it finished, and I'll be right back. Be sure you stick around at the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this piece. If you'd share the video, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, here it is. One Juniper vase in the books. I guess we'll call it a vase. What do you think of those bug holes? Interesting, huh? I didn't see any bug activity, so that's a good thing. But look at that. Busy little bugs they were. I think they just add just the right amount of interest to an otherwise kind of plain piece. Sure did smell good, I can tell you that. It really smelled good while I was turning it. And I'm going to put it on the turntable here in a minute with some flowers in it so you can see what it could look like with someone that had some flower arranging talent. And I'm going to thank my mother for taking care of this for the 58 years that she lived in that house. So thanks, Mom, for taking care of it all those years for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please, I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly. I truly appreciate that. I also appreciate that you took some of your time to spend with me today. That means a lot to me. Thank you kindly. I'm looking forward to your comments. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.